To hair light or not to hair light? That is the question. Okay, so hair light, do you use it? Oh, airplane. A hair light, do you use it? Should you use it? When to use it? When not to use it? The good thing is the answer to those questions is it doesn't really matter because that's all up to you. But everyone has their own tastes, their own opinions, and things like that. With that said, let's go into some examples of when I use a hair light and when I don't use a hair light. And always remember, this is personal taste, and so it's really up to you.
It's personal, isn't it?
So my personal look and feel is I typically don't use a hair light, even in interviews, which interviews seem to be the most common place to use a hair light. You should know by definition what a hair light is. Usually it's a light dedicated to lighting the back of your hair in this general area. I'm looking at the monitor, and then to kiss maybe your shoulders to separate you from the background. Now the reason why I tend not to use them is I don't really like 3-point lighting that much. I like a little more dramatic looks. I don't like the typical, this is an interview lighting situation. That's just my personal taste.
It's personal.
I also feel that most of the time the ambience of the room, because nowadays you're more lighting spaces and commercials and in documentaries, you are more lighting spaces. Even in interviews, you're lighting spaces. I usually feel like that room tone and the overall space can usually separate you enough. When do I use a hair light? Now, I'm actually in a situation where I'm not using a hair light right now, but I would. And let me tell you why. So right over here, I have an ETC panel, and it's only on 0.2%. And then over here, that's my key. And then over there, this blue that you're getting, now these are all beige walls. I just got done wrapping up a shoot. But this blue that you're getting right here, way in the back, is a quasar, and it's lighting it up some cyan blue back there. Now I would use a hair light in this. So why would I use a hair light in this situation, and when do I use them in other situations? Because all these walls are beige and they can blend into my skin so I can separate myself out. The other situation is really bright, really high key, and just to pop it a little more to get that separation. The other one is really, really dark. Now I don't use a hair light a ton in dark shots unless it's like moonlight, and on the close-up I need to separate them a little bit, and then mostly those close-ups, because the wides and the mids are usually a larger light source where I don't have to separate them as much. So let me show you though what it looks like without a hair light in this lighting setup and with a hair light, and I like the hair light more. So let me show you. So here's the example with no hair light. Still looks good. Looking at the monitor. And here's an example with the hair light. And so as you can see, this looks really nice too. You got the shoulder light, the separation here, it's coming around my chin a little bit, and it looks really nice. And so both are acceptable, both look great. You can choose, but I think I would probably light this, looking at the monitor, with a hair light. Know that just because they say 3-point lighting, you don't have to use 3 lights. This is a perfectly fine lighting scenario for an interview, narratives. This looks great to me, and this is with the hair light. Always remember to do what you feel is gonna drive the story forward, drive the interview forward, drive whatever creative look you're going for.
I think you're so creative.
Also be on the lookout for my upcoming course on interview lighting. Start from scratch and you'll see the behind the scenes of building that out, and different lighting scenarios too, in the ways of like a good large space, a small space, a more creative look, stylized look, to a very, very clean corporate look. So stay tuned for that. It's gonna be super affordable. I really wanted it to be focused on anyone could buy it. So, you know, 25 to no more than 50 bucks at the most. So yeah, I appreciate everything. Talk to you guys later. Thanks, bye.